The Royal Canadian Navy, like any business or industry, wants to attract talented, educated young men and women. That's what this naval officer is doing at a high school. He's arranging a visit to a destroyer for some of the students. The Navy is interested in these young people, but it isn't trying to lure them out of school. In fact, it hopes they'll stay there and graduate. A naval career, like any other, demands a good education.
Ted, would you stay for a minute, please?
Yes, sir.
I've been checking your results again. You got through junior matriculation all right, Ted, but, well, you could have done a lot better in maths, you know. Has anything been troubling you, Ted?
No, sir.
Well, you're going to have to work a lot harder, you know.
Yes, sir.
I've been thinking it would be a good idea if you could spend some time during the summer holidays to review your geometry. It would put you in a stronger position for next year's work. Will you do that?
Yes, sir.
Well, now, don't say yes, sir, just to please me. This is for yourself. Now, you have it in you, Ted. I just want to see you make the most of yourself.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that's all. Off you go.
Thank you, sir.
Are you and Ted coming?
I guess so. I don't really know. He hasn't said very much.
Hi, Ted.
Hi.
Are you and Ann coming on that Navy tour?
No, I don't think so. Come on, Ann.
Well, we'll see ya. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Ann? I don't think I'm going back to school next year.
What would you do?
Get a job.
Get a job?
Well, why not? What am I doing, Ann? I've been droning away in French for years, and I can't even carry on a conversation in it. And learning other people's history and getting by in maths without having a clue what it's all about.
Do you think getting a job is the answer?
I don't know. But the thought of another year of sitting around.
Hey, Ted!
Why, it's Harry.
Hi, kids. Want a lift?
Whose car?
It's mine. Just picked it up yesterday. Like it?
Like it? Man, it must have cost a fortune.
You can hardly blame Ted for what he's thinking. They tell you to stay in school. Well, this is what happens when you don't listen. Harry walked out of class a year ago and never looked back. You don't have to worry about being bored if you have a car like this. If a guy gets into a rut, he can just turn that wheel in a different direction and drive right out. The main thing is to move instead of standing still.
Well, thanks, Harry. Do you want to come in for a minute?
No, thanks, Ted. I've got a date tonight.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Harry. It was really great.
See you, Harry. See you, pal.
Well, I'll see you after supper.
Okay.
Ted has more education than Harry, a whole year more. He has every right to expect an even better job. If only his folks would see it that way, especially his father.
Where's Dad?
He's in the back garden.
Hi, Dad.
Hello, Ted.
Dad, I just saw Harry Quinn, and he said they're looking for another guy where he works.
We've been over all that, Ted.
I know, Dad, but if I could get this job, it'd be great. I'd be a year ahead.
You wouldn't be a year ahead. There are only two alternatives nowadays, pick or pencil. You need an education.
Well, you quit school when you were 15, and you're doing all right.
In my day, you could do all that, but not anymore.
Well, I got my junior matric. That's more than Harry did.
He's making a big mistake.
He just got a raise.
If it's extra pocket money you want, why don't you get a job for the summer?
It's not just the money, Dad. I'm not happy at school.
Ted, you have the whole summer ahead of you. Let's not make any decisions now about school. What sort of job did Harry say it was?
An office job.
All right, son. Why don't you go down and see them? Give it a try.
Supper's ready.
Dad, you mean that?
Let's go for supper.
Look, if you want to grow with the organization, you have to learn to handle more difficult assignments. We have to take you off the job.
I'm sorry, Mr. Moore is still busy, but he'll be with you in a minute.
Thank you.
Hi, Ted.
Oh, hi, Harry.
Have you seen the boss yet?
No, I haven't been in yet.
Oh, you shouldn't have any trouble.
I hope not.
Here's some more for you, Len. Hi, honey.
You gotta move ahead now. And you can't move ahead unless you begin to apply yourself.
Mr. Sibley, he's ready to be checked out.
Mr. Moore won't be too much longer now.
Ted had had a lively picture in his mind of just what it would be like to get a job, any job.
It's very important that you understand this, because if your work doesn't pick up, I'm gonna have to make a decision.
This place didn't fit that picture at all.
Mr. Cook? Thank you.
When Ted decided to go on this Navy tour, it seemed like a good idea. Now he wasn't too sure. In the old days, a guy could run away from school and join the Navy. Now it seemed to Ted that the world was one big classroom. Wherever you went, books just seemed to get there ahead of you. The tour is visiting Royal Road Services College, where potential officers for all three services receive a college education. Under the regular officer training plan, however, a naval cadet can go to any Canadian university, with the Navy paying all of the costs. Here at Royal Roads, physical fitness and sports are almost as important as the academic work. But the education of a future naval officer doesn't end here. After Royal Roads, he spends his final 2 years at the Royal Military College at Kingston. Ted is more interested than he cares to admit, in spite of all that time in classrooms. But here's what he's been waiting for: his first look at a destroyer escort.
Revolution 104. Revolution 104.
And odds, new contact, 270, 20 miles, Skunk Alpha, over.
Very good.
Nerve center of the ship is the operations room. Above, on the bridge, a sub-lieutenant not long out of services college is on duty as officer of the watch. The students are shown around every part of the ship, from deep in the engine room to high on the flag deck. Nearly everything aboard is electrically driven. Enough power on one ship to light a city of 10,000. Main weapons of the destroyer escort are the anti-submarine mortars, operated from the sonar control room.
Bearing in depth 150, in the brackets.
Stand by. Fired.
This is the wardroom, our home away from home. If you'd like to sit down, we can have some coffee.
Thank you.
What sort of propulsion does this ship have, sir?
Levane propulsion consists of 2 steam-driven impulse turbines developing 30,000 horsepower.
What did you do, sir, after you'd finished at RMC?
After I left RMC, I went to Halifax. While I was in Halifax, I took a 27-week course called the Pre-Fleet Course. During this course, I took training in the various different departments that I would serve in a ship.
I personally have gone to Japan 1 year and Mexico another. And one of my interesting summers, actually, I was on an exchange program with the United States Navy.
I'm going to take you now up to the flag deck and then onto the bridge.
Waiting for Ted at home are the decisions he still has to make about going back to school and the job at the factory. What he's seen has given him some new things to think about, too. It's been a long, fascinating day.
26. Yeah. And again. Yeah. Okay, down the deck. Hey!
Starboard boat.
The other heaving line.
Lock away the forward spring, move it aft, watch.
Ted is attracted by the idea of one day being an officer on a ship like that one. But he could only make that possible by staying in school. He'd have to think about that.
There's one thing I don't get about all this, sir. Why should the Navy spend all that money sending a guy through college in return for just a few years' service after graduation? What's the catch?
You're right, there is a catch. The Navy hopes that once you're in, you'll enjoy the life so much that you'll want to make a permanent career of it.
But you gotta have matric.
Yes, you've got to have matric.
Well, here's our bus. It was most interesting, Lieutenant. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Mr. Cook.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, Ted. You never told me whether you got that job or not.
Well, the manager said to think it over and come back next Monday.
What are you going to do?
I don't know. You know, sometimes I wish somebody would come up to me and say, look, Mills, you do this, you know what I mean? It's darn hard having to make up your own mind, isn't it?